Happy Friday to you. Happy Friday. Good morning to all you GEO fans out there. Good morning to all you GEOs. That know you're a GEO. Good morning to all you Matrix unpluggers. Happy Friday. It's a beautiful day today. It's a beautiful day every day. Good morning, GEO. And good morning, family. The reason why the character of GEO comes online and can seem to be so serious at times is because life within the Matrix, life within this illusion, the life that you're currently involved with, can be reflected to be so serious. It can seem to be so serious. Everything around us talks to us about the so-called seriousness of life. The pandemic, our current state of affairs, where we work at a 9 to 5. Whenever you work for someone else other than yourself, things get a little bit serious. There's a little concern. There's a little bit of the unknown. You're not really sure what might happen because of it, or at the end of all of it. If you continue to work for someone else for the rest of your life, will you have enough money to survive? Will they continue to employ you? Are you safe? Are you secure? All these serious questions come to mind. Is my family going to be okay? Should I start a business? Is this the right path for me? And many other things within our life speak to this illusory seriousness. A seriousness that comes from insecurity. A seriousness that comes from a perspective of actually fear. We just are not aware of the subtleness of the fear that presents itself. So fear and courage are the same thread, the same energy. Courage is felt when you're one with who you truly are within, when you're true to thyself. To thine own self be true. What does that mean? Well, to be true to oneself, one would need to first start off with the correct identity and know who they are. Truly. Truly. Not illusory. Then once we can understand who we truly are, we can be true to ourselves. So this seriousness of life comes from fear, a subtleness of fear. It's not outright fear. There's no real fear going on. If fear were really in play, the fear that we're also aware of, where we watch these horror movies and people are running for their lives so they don't die. Fear is an illusion, and humanity knows it, but plays the script or the part in life that subtly, what we do is we subtly take on this idea of fear out of a response to following the herd, like ants, you know. So human beings have a tendency to function like any other, like all life. The reason why we follow the herd, the reason why the blind lead the blind, and the reason why we tend to go along with the flow of things as we seem to perceive it, or the reason why we go along with what's going on outside of us, is because we're really one. There's no other reason than that. We're not separate, we're one. So we have an internal draw to flow with the consciousness that surrounds us. And sometimes that can be a benefit, sometimes it can be not even within the matrix, within the words of this illusion. It can be beneficial and it can also be a hindrance. It can be good and it can be bad. But the difference between seeing things within the matrix and without the matrix is that within the matrix we can use words. We can recognize the parallels of life, good and bad, up and down, and so on. But being directly connected with Source, being totally empty of any ego or any separate mind, totally surrendered so that God's will can prevail within one's life, we're able to see through these parallels, and we no longer look at things as either good or bad. We know all to be good, and this good is not an elevation of anything. It's perfect. It just is. It's not either good or bad. But if you could give it any name or any definition, it would have to be good, beautiful, loving, and perfect. It's the only way to describe something that's totally undescribable, completely takes the words and the breath right out of you, causes you to be still. When you see it, when you feel it, when you encounter or have an opportunity to catch a glimpse of this open view. So life seems to be serious. And so, anytime you meet an adversary, I learned this at a young age. I learned how to stop bullies because I was the kid on the playground. I've always been a little off or whatever. I've always been a little crazy. But I was the kid on the playground. If you were picking on someone or if you were fighting someone and you were winning, I'd be over there within a second to make sure you weren't hurting them. And if you were a bully, I'd be fighting you. You wouldn't be picking on this kid. So I would walk up to bullies and punch them in the face. I would start fights with punks because I was, under this imagination of being some little hero or something. But that's okay. That's what it was. And So life carries a bit of illusory seriousness with it. And what I learned at a young age was beyond the fighting. Before the fight, I would stand and look the bully or the person right in the eyes, and I would mirror exactly what they were putting out. I would absolutely just face them. Sort of like if somebody comes off and speaks to you a little bit rude, and you answer not with more than you need to, but you answer in a way that meets them at their energy. Something they're not expecting. Like, excuse me? That kind of thing or something. But it neutralizes the situation. And then the person doesn't know what to think or say, and then you can go back to being loving. And so that's kind of like what's happening here. There's a sense of seriousness within the world, and I'm talking to the world, talking to the self, talking to you, however you perceive it. The correct perception is there's only one self. The correct perception is I'm talking to myself. The correct perception is you are none other than me. We're one. We're not different, we're the same. I'm you. There's only one self, the self of all self. But that's neither here nor there. So I need to come on and I need to be a little bit serious because I need to neutralize your seriousness. Life is too serious. Life is meant to be played. It's meant to have fun. It's meant to be jolly and silly, and yet come with some truism, some internal identity. How can we live life? And that's why you see the way life is played out, and you see how this illusory construct comes with such struggle, confusion, arrogance, ignorance, mine, selfishness, no selflessness. You see it all over the place, and the reason for that is because there's no truism within the identity of the human being. The human being is under the impression that they are a human being. They title themselves as human beings, but what they are is really human doings. They are not human beings. And how could they be being a human? What is a human? But they're not being at all. They're just doing. So the proper name is human doing. Because we want to get you to a state of being, but not human being, a divine being, your true identity. So we get a little serious and we come online so you can question the seriousness. So you can go, whether you stay on this channel, listen to my talk or not, but if you do, and you listen to it and you say, well, this guy's a little serious. Why is he so serious? I'm playing a role too. I unplug people from the matrix, but even though I'm playing a role, creating a character, creating a personality, I truly do unplug people from this illusion that we call the matrix. And so it's fictional and non-fictional at the same time. The character is alive. The character doesn't exist. The mark has disappeared. The mark is not present. The me of me that used to be me, there's no longer me no more, is gone. The only one present is the presence of the present itself. The present that all have, all carry. This is what you are. You are the present. I come to you because you are the present, and I am trying to open you. I'm trying to remove the package, the bow. You're so beautiful, even wrapped up in this illusion. You're so beautiful, and I'm here to reveal your beauty. And so we come for you to question the seriousness in the talk that's given. We give loosely. We don't even give. It's source. It's all source. But we talk to you because you're in the illusion. Words are dualistic. I'll repeat this often because I'll use words that are dualistic and your mind will drift. And you'll get caught up like you do all the time in the words. Why is he so serious? So words are dualistic. So all words that come out of my mouth are going to sound like there's some separation. You're going to identify with them, but you're going to hear them and interpret them the way you would if you were plugged into the matrix of the illusion. And I speak about it only because I understand how you interpret words, but I do not interpret them the same way, nor do I use them with the same definitions. And so we mirror you so that you'll question the seriousness. Life can be both. Life is all things. While the main theme of life is fun, the main theme of life is the beautiful, the main theme of life is the perfect. And overall, we should be just having a bunch of fun. There are moments for everything. So there's a time to be serious, if that's what's needed. Every need is met. So if the need is to be serious, then it's met. If the need is to be funny and silly, then it's met. All needs are met. This is another difficult one to experience and to see and to live and to know until we unplug ourselves. And only we can do the unplugging. I really don't do the unplugging. I say I do, but and what I do is I point to the identity that is within, and slowly, after a period of time of you hearing it from me and others, you start to become more aware of this identity within. And you slowly take it on. And you slowly start to hear through the words, experience and live some of the open view that we talk about, this connection between you and Source. It's not a connection, you are it. It's not even a direct connection, it's it itself. It's not even an it just is. And it really even isn't an isness itself either. These are words. A word itself cannot be given to it. You cannot give a name to it. There is no name to it. It encompasses all names and no name. It moves only to its truest essence, which is no form, no name. It is and it has been before any and all, if any and all ever were. Time and the illusion of time and space are just a construct made up by man. Word, definition, construct, perception, and all things that you see in with your physical eyes, experience with your physical hands, your 5 senses, 6 senses, are all outside of, they're not outside of, they're within. But the moment that which is started to become, excuse me, started to become compartmentalized, divided up, this is the moment that duality took effect, separateness came in. And the best way for me to describe it is that as that which is began to express itself and became self-aware, this is where the dualism began. The idea of separateness through form. Everything that's happening, whether you understand it or not, was absolutely planned and purposed. It's all the most beautiful, glorious storybook life that you could ever imagine. Everything you see, perceive, think is all wrong. It's all been given to you by the current existence that you see around you. It's all conditioned. You have been conditioned your entire life. Your parents have, their parents have, and their parents have been conditioned by the surrounding conscious, collective conscious environment that we grow up in, that we're born into, that we're not really born. There's no birth. See through the illusion of the corporeal, physical experience that you're having. So as God himself began to express himself and form came about, and words were created, sovereignty was given. Men knew of their divinity before Christ. Men have known of their divinity from the beginning of time, if time there is, which there's not. Why do we have this illusion? Why do some men realize their unity and some men don't? Why is there still this collective consciousness that seems to be within air? within an imperfected state. Why are not all men aware of their unity? Why can't I drop it? Why can't I? But this is going on in my life, and this is going on in my life. We pause, I stay quiet, because I want you to think. You're used to hearing more and more and more and tell me more. It's not going on. It's an illusion. We're all in the Garden of Eden. And there is no tree of knowledge. There's only the tree of life, and that tree of life is you. You are life itself. You are that tree. It's a symbolism, a metaphor. The tree is you. You are the tree. You carry all trees within you. See through the movies you watch. Hear behind the words that are spoken. Understand words. Words are used to describe something someone feels or wants. And 95% of the time, the words that are used do not give justice to the intent. Most of the time, people want attention. That's why they speak. We might have to find another location. You guys are awesome. We really, really are one. And we're really, really not in any illusory construct. We're really in the Garden of Eden. We're really with Jesus now. Jesus said it. That's why I'm so grateful for everything. So grateful for this platform. Because I can speak to you from my heart. And it's not a platform of debate yet. It's like a book. You can read it and you can like it or not, and you can put it down, and you can have your own opinion. You can believe, accept, hear, reject, all you want. But it's not a platform for debate. There's no question. There can be no question at this point. But even as this channel expands and the question becomes, the open view becomes a view that you're able to engage with, and the question arises, let me assure you now that this source we speak of, this union that we are aware of, and this pointing that we do, it's not another book. It's not another speaker. It's not another message. It's not another way. It's not another that you keep seeking for. Seeking and seeking and seeking and listening to man separate from God speak to you. God, there is no questioner or debate when you're directly connected to Source. All questions drop. That doesn't mean that I don't want you to ask questions. No. I want you to know that it's just absolutely normal to ask questions, and no question is silly. We're all the same. It's the questions that'll get you to the no question. It's the free zone that you can be yourself and completely let your hair down that offers you this opportunity to empty the question. I'm going to come back with you. We got to find another place to park. Much love, much love, much love, much love. Happy Friday. We're unplugging people from the Matrix today. People are getting unplugged today. Today is a big day. I got a promotion yesterday. Things are happening. I'm telling you, it's on its way. Soon we'll be in the studio. Like, share, subscribe. Always tell your friends. We're bringing you powerful stuff. We give you glimpses in the beginning of the message. It's really the way I'm just describing to you how things happen sometimes. Don't miss the whole message. My point. Listen to the whole thing, because there's something within. It's not a message, but listen to the whole talk, the whole pointing, because there's something somewhere within there. It could be the last thing I say. Remember, I'm not here. And remember, source, you cannot find your unity. You cannot sit, live, and express yourself as God, or God expressing himself as you. You can't find the kingdom until you get honest. You can't drop concepts, words, and the ego and the separate self until you get honest. And so listen to the whole thing. There might be something in there that you need to hear. Much love.